Swamiji has outlined in the beginning of the book, the first part, 18 different methods to concentrate the mind. And concentration is the number one thing we need for meditation. According to Patanjali, it's pratyahara, dharana, dhyan, samadhi. Well, prior to that is yam, niyam, asana, pranayam. Well, you did that, you had an hour of asanas, so that's fine. But then comes pratyahara, which means withdrawing the mind from the senses. Then comes dharana, which means concentration. When the mind is concentrated, you become centered. Without concentration, the mind is running all over the place. And that's the whole key to meditation. Sometimes, and everyone sitting here, if you tell me you've never meditated, I don't believe you. Because everyone has meditated. When you are so concentrated in doing something that you forget where you are, somebody walks into the room, startles you. Have you ever felt that? Mm-hmm. Yeah. You are in a state of working meditation. And being in the present moment without any other thought is a state of meditation. Being here and now, we heard that in the 60s, be here and now. But I didn't know what it meant in those days. Okay? I thought, oh, they were full of baloney, right? And it takes practice. It takes practice to control the mind. That's the key to meditation. Practice, 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 practice. It's not somebody is more able to meditate than other people. No, that's not it. Some people put more effort into it. That's as simple as that. And everything we acquire, it takes effort. And I'll tell you, being able to calm the mind down, to get it to focus, even if you don't go into meditation, takes a whole change in your mental state, in your emotional state, and your physiological state. It is amazing. That's why people love the yoga. And the relaxation at the end of Hatha Yoga is actually the most difficult of all the poses. You thought Warrior One was difficult. Lying still and keeping the mind quiet is more difficult than any of the other poses. It's the quietness of the mind, because relaxation cannot happen unless the mind is quiet. So if you start putting your mind into a meditative state, or trying to get into a meditative state, that alone has a tremendous impact on your physiological and mental body. And it is, even if you can't meditate, if you sit and try to meditate or try to concentrate for meditation, this is so important for you. If you practice every day, then eventually you'll get there. Eventually. Hopefully. Meditation is one of the most difficult things to achieve in life. And we will get to it when you, in the beginning, you will probably get to it. It's called the carrot on the stick. Okay. And what happens, and I will give you the techniques in a minute, but I want to get you the idea here. What happens is you get into meditation and then you kind of like come into a lull, and all of a sudden, no more meditation. I'm doing the same thing. What happened? You see, when we start meditating, there has to come a change into the mental body as well. We call that working on the yams and niyams. When you meditate, you become purified, and you get power over yourself, power that you become more confident about yourself, power that you feel energized, you feel more confident, actually, is the primary power. And that you can be able to create, because we create. We're made in the image of the divine, so we have those powers. So then your personality has to come along with it. And so you might be meditating very nicely for a month, 2 months, a year, 2 years, and all of a sudden you come to a plateau. Well, the plateau means, let me work on my personal self in order to come ahead. And that usually goes back to the 10 Commandments. That kind of purification. We call them yums and niyams. Okay? And that is really where it comes to. So if you come to that lull, know it's temporary, but you have to continue the practice. And this is where everybody gets lost. The lull comes, you practice for a week. Oh, I can't meditate. You give it out and you shove it into the corner. That's where I'm going to catch you. Because if you do that, you'll never meditate. And we don't achieve anything unless we really want it. When we meditate, we're coming in contact with our soul self. When we meditate, we become the best person we can be. So if you don't want that, don't practice. But I know everybody wants to be the best person that they can possibly be, right? Don't you? Yes. I better hear every yes from everybody. Yes. But the problem is that, oh, I can't do it, you give it up. That's a problem, okay? If you can't do it, that means do it more. Okay? You don't finish it unless you can do it. The more you practice, the better it will be. It's a simple thing. Yeah. And then we only have a few books left. I will have to put it out into an e-book. Okay? So, there are several beautiful ways of getting the mind under control. And I already went through that. The sound technique, Mataji calls it the Nada Anushadana. Nada Anushadana. The inner sound. How do we do that? The inner sound. Okay? The mind is extrovert, and then we want to bring the mind inside. You want to bring your mind inside. You want to bring, that's called pratyahara. You want to bring the mind inside. You don't want your mind to be outside. So when we close our eyes, we don't see. When you close your ears, you don't hear. What you do, you're always going to hear something because we're living in this world. But what you do in your mind's eye, especially if you have children in the house, you're going to say, okay, leave me alone. I'm going to go meditate for 15 minutes. That means 2 minutes later, they will knock on your door. And that goes for hubbies and others in the household. And then you just don't, you just keep yourself quiet unless and don't hear them unless it's an emergency. If you put that into your mind, you will be able to close your ears to that knocking. And when they don't get in, after a while, they'll let you be, and no problem. But if you keep answering, then they know they can get you. Okay? Okay? So be firm and don't answer unless it's an emergency. Of course, they can fake that one too. So what we do is close the eyes and we close the ears. We don't press hard. And then we hum. Go ahead. Listen to the sound carefully. Your entire concentration should be on it. Keep doing it. Close your eyes. All right, you can come down now. Now, this is a wonderful technique. What did you think of while you were doing that? Huh?
It was a bumblebee.
Okay. But what other thoughts did you have? You don't. Isn't that interesting? Yes.
Present, being just right there because it's now forcing to be the moment with it.
You don't have a thought. That's what we want. That's what we want. We don't want a thought. We want the mind to be quiet, but it has to meditate on something. So it was meditating on sound. The mind has to have something to concentrate on. So it was concentrating on sound, but it wasn't going running here and running there. Now, this is going to be, if you do this for any length of time, your arms are going to go, and your mind is going to go to the arms rather than the sound. So there are a couple of ways, a couple of people, when the Yogananda people used to make themselves a tripod. That is a 1x2 and a 1x2 up on top, and they put the elbows on. Okay. Well, we have earplugs you can use, cotton, with a little bit of oil in it so that the other sound doesn't come in, and you can use that whichever way you want. I made a tripod like that. It's very nice. It doesn't go anywhere because your weight is on it. It's just like a tea. But if you don't have it, all right. So you take, according to this, Mataji says, alternately you may make 2 goblets of cotton, immersing them in melted wax or clarified butter or oil, and after then squeezing them out, plug the ears with the pods. So that's an option, okay? The other one, sound. We're going sound, right? Well, what do we do before we do anything?
Breathe.
We chant Om.
Oh.
I know you breathe. There are a couple of ways of chanting Om. The way I teach it in yoga is different from the way I would do it for meditation. The way I teach it for yoga, it becomes almost like a pranayama, and it vibrates your entire being. And that is the Om that comes from the gut, and the mouth is an O. Make your mouth an O. O. Put your hand here. O. And now M. Do you feel it? That's exactly what I want when I have a yoga class. Okay? You feel it here? The vibration? What it does? And Om has been known to do what? What does it soothe? The vagus nerve, which is the biggest nerve that runs your entire body. It soothes the vagus nerve. Okay? And it does soothe you. And that's that kind of Om. Then there is this Om where it comes from the back of your mouth. And because that's why it's spelled A-U-M, even though we say Om. A-U-M. The mouth is not in an O. It comes from the back of the mouth, rolls forward on your tongue into an M. Om. 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 What do you feel?
Fifth chakra.
But what else do you feel? Where do you feel it? Oh,
In my head.
I feel it on the top palate. Don't you feel it on the top palate rolling forward? So let's go back to the yogis. What do they do to get the amrit to come down through the palate? They milk their tongue so that it can go back and touch the top palate and go up there. But this vibrates that palate, which then vibrates your pituitary and pineal gland. And that's what you need for meditation. So we have, Om has a tremendous effect upon the body, no matter which way you chant it. But this one does not have an O. It falls from the back. So let's do that again. Because without stimulating the pineal gland, there can be no meditation. Okay? Roll it forward. Start it in the back of the throat and roll it forward. Yeah. Well, you felt the vibration before too with the Om. Yeah. All right. So there are many ways of chanting Om, but Om is very, very powerful. Rather than listening to music for your meditation, which some people do, I'd rather you make your own music. But that's another way. You can listen to the sound of music. Personally, I find that distracting because I have to go with, my mind has to go with the musician. But if your mind is extremely active, it will bring it to a focal point. Okay? But if you have been practicing meditation for many years, then music becomes a distraction. Okay?
What about listening to a tape of just the sound Om? Is that different than
Yeah,
actually doing
that's fine too. But it doesn't have this, that is good too. It's much easier, yeah.
The other question I want to ask is, you say you want to open up the pineal pituitary. What about focusing your attention at the third eye? Is that how
We're coming to that. Don't worry. I'm right now doing sound. I'm doing sound. Thank you.
in the future? Okay.
Okay. Now, rather than humming, let's put the hand back into the ears. And no humming. Close your eyes. And what do you hear?
The ocean.
Don't tell me. Close your eyes and just listen.
Echo.
Shh. Just listen. Close your eyes and just listen to your internal sound. Okay. What did you hear?
You hear your blood circulating.
Well, you've seen chin, 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 chin. Beetles running around. But that's a way of focusing the mind again. That's another technique. All right? Those are just techniques to get the mind focused. To get the mind focused is like so difficult. And these are techniques.
One of my teachers recommended taking it like a conch or a seashell and just
Listening to it.
do that.
Same thing. Yeah. These are all wonderful techniques. And then you're listening to the heart as well when you have that closed, so you can be listening to the heartbeat as well. So these are the internal sounds, and that's just to bring concentration. Pictorial concentration. What are they called in the Catholic Church that they made those small paintings of saints? Icons. They made the small. Those were used like we use tratak. And they were put, and that's why they were small. Okay, and you focus your mind on that particular saint. And and you focus your eyes on it. So it's tratak actually, but it's on a picture of And you want whatever picture you put, you want it to be a purified type of picture. If it's a human being, you want it to be a saint or a sage or a god or whatever. So that picture. And because what you concentrate on, remember, we went through this Friday, whatever you're thinking comes back to you. Yeah. Your thoughts and energy come into a what? Infinity sign, right? Okay? And it comes back to you. So the same thing, if you have a pictorial picture and you're meditating on the picture, we call it meditation on the picture, but it's almost like tratak. You really focus your eyes very strongly on that picture. Another way to do that is to focus your eyes on a candle, and you keep your eyes open, or a dot. You keep your eyes open and you do not blink. No blinking allowed until the eyes tear.
Is that okay for older people to do, seniors?
If they don't have high blood pressure, yes. Okay? But they won't keep the mind quiet like that. You know, we old people, we don't have that kind of... No, they can do that. High blood pressure is the problem with the eyes on that. Okay? But the pictorial is fine. They can roam around. A picture is fine. That is very, very powerful. And now we go to what you were talking about, Shambhavi Mudra. And Shambhavi Mudra, you put your eyes looking up here. But it's a very gentle look. You have your eyes open and you look up here. Don't go. A very gentle look. Now all of you do that. You look between the eyebrows. And while you're looking, close your eyes gently. Don't look at me. Just look up there. All right? Now, what were you thinking while you were doing that?
Nothing.
Isn't that interesting? Just focusing the eyes up here. You think of nothing. Ah.
Is that the same technique we use in Cobra, or we're supposed to be using in Cobra?
Mm-hmm. But the problem is people force their eyes there. It's supposed to be very gentle. Okay? And then that's a wonderful way of getting into keeping the eye. This is, you will see that experienced meditators, they'll do that and close the eyelids before they close the eyes. And that will just keep the mind, it concentrates the mind instantly. But what happens, we do it for a little while, and then mind goes, I don't like to be there. Okay.
Is that okay for senior students?
Yeah, sure.
Doesn't hurt.
Yeah, well, how senior are your seniors?
They're up to 95.
Yeah, but they're active?
Yeah.
Oh, well, then they're
They can
fine.
do that.
Then they're not seniors.
Take the glasses.
Okay? Yeah, if they can do it, if their mind stays quiet enough, fine. All right? That's not a problem. That's called Shambhavi Mudra. It's very, very, very powerful. I'm giving you ways to get yourself into meditation. You have to have a variety. And then you come up with what works best for me. And then you stick to it. You don't change.
So you're not recommending trying different ones, like maybe...
Yes, try, but which one works best for me?
All right.
Once I find what works best for me, that's it. Because I don't want to go experimenting. I want to go into meditation. So a proven thing is a good thing, right?
Yeah.
So then what works best for me? But my mind is not the same every time. So I have to have something else in my pocket. When the mind is extremely restless and what is best for me doesn't work, instead of getting up and saying it doesn't work today and goodbye, I try something else.
When you take us to the crystal pyramid, that is like a very good cue. Does Manaji talk about that?
No, that's an Archangel Michael.
Oh, that's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, that's a new way. I'm giving you today
Traditional.
the old traditional yogic ways. Okay? The same thing as the Shambhavi Mudra, put your mind to the tip of your nose. And tell me what happens in your mind and what happens in your physical. Okay? What did you feel?
Quiet.
But what else did you feel?
Calm.
There's something else you should have felt. Nothing?
Some discomfort here.
Right here. You feel this point.
Yeah.
Right?
That is true.
Ah. So many people, when they do their pranayama, they go like this. Well, I want to feel that point. I don't believe in it, I believe in the pranayama. You do in Vishnu Mudra, but many times you've seen people do the alternate nostril breathing with their hand right here because they want to get this point, the concentration on that point, which leads into the pituitary gland. Concentration at this point leads into the pituitary gland. Yes?
Eye closed or open when you concentrate?
Open.
Open out.
Open eyes. You'll see a few noses. Okay. The other one is sky gazing at the sky for 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, but not allowed to gaze at the sun for that length of time. All right. And what happens with that, when you sky gaze like that, actually your eyes become very bright. It's because it's fresh air, fresh everything comes in. That's another way. And the other one is mudras. There are many mudras, but we're not going to go into the mudras. This is Gyan Mudra, and we have it like this. That's Gyan Mudra. And so concentrating on the mudra itself is a possibility. What I find that people do with Gyan Mudra is this. That's not it. You put the finger underneath the thumb so it doesn't slide out. Okay? So, and gently. You're not pressing the thumb down. You're just having it there. And what it does, it allows the energy in your body. You have a circulation of energy. It allows the energy to flow back to you. If you're sitting cross-legged, that happens automatically. If you're sitting in a chair, meditation should be done in anything that you're comfortable with. You can be sitting in a chair, but your back has to be straight. You can be sitting against the wall. You can be sitting, and there has to be a little arch in the lower back so that it's straight, biomechanically aligned, so that the energy can flow up and down unobstructedly. So that's a very important thing. All right? So you can be meditating on a mudra or any part of your body. So whatever is, that's a sound technique, and then there is the eye technique. Then we come into pranayama, the exercises. Well, this is extremely important. Happy breathing. Not everybody can do Nadi Shuddhi. Nadi Shuddhi is purification of the nadis, which are your energy fields surrounding your sushumna. the Ida and Pingala, the right and left nostril. And we hold the breath. But we can achieve the same thing with Sukha Puvak. That means alternate nostril breathing without holding the breath, which at any age we can do. But what I like you to do, which you can't get these seniors to do because I've been trying for them to do their hands in the mudra.
Yeah.
This is called Vishnu Mudra. The right hand always. The thumb closes the right nostril. The ring finger closes the left. Now it's not this. It's actually, you keep it about this wide and you just go back and forth. Okay? But when you see the seniors doing it, and the children, it's this.
Yeah.
And then this goes to this side and then it goes to that side. That's not how you concentrate. The best way is not to even move the fingers, just to go back and forth slightly. So inhale through the left. Close the left, exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Close the right, exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Close the left, exhale through the right. Continue doing it, and I will talk to you about it a little bit. It is called happy breathing because it makes your body happy. It balances the body between left and right hemisphere. And it is a wonderful, absolutely wonderful technique to use prior to your meditation.
How long should you do it?
Keep doing it until your mind is steady. Just keep doing it. And relax. Okay, your mind can go in this one, but what it does, it balances the body. When the body is happy, it is easier to meditate. And you are concentrating on the breath. What I do with this one, and with all pranayams where I have to count or whatever, I use a mantra. I don't go 1, 2, 3, 4, or I don't go inhale, I go om, om. That's what I do. Okay.
I was going to ask you, if you're teaching it to a class, would you maybe use a count, like 4, inhale, 4, hold?
Now we're going into that one. But on this happy breathing, you don't count.
You don't count. Just breathe in.
Breathe into your, breathe in normally. And it's a U-turn. What you breathe into, you exhale the outside. What you exhale, you breathe into. It's a U-turn. It's not a circle. It's a U-turn. You exhale, you breathe in through the same one. Okay? You got that? I hope you got that.
Eyes closed? With eyes closed?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. It's called happy breathing. It's one of the very few exercises that everyone can do, because breathing exercises we usually don't give to seniors or children. Okay?
What was in pranayama? I was looking at Dharma Mitra, where he breathes in. This takes the breath all the way down to the Muladhara chakra, and then comes up on the exhalation. And so I mean, is that something?
You can do that. That's also another wonderful technique. There are many techniques. I'm just going through the book.
Oh no, I understand. I didn't see it there. That's what I was asking. Okay.
Okay.
Do you ever teach it with the other two fingers in the third eye?
Yeah, that's what they want to do. I find that a distraction. Let the third eye be stimulated from the inside rather than the outside. Okay? That's the way I find it. But if that helps you, do it. No problem. Whatever works, do. Whatever gets your mind quiet to meditate, that's fine. Okay? If it takes rock and roll, I don't care. As long as you get to the end result, meditation, silence. With the kids, that's what they do now. They have these earmuffs on with the screaming music to get their mind silent. Okay.
You get hit by cars.
We develop another sense. We can feel it.
Well, it's the vibration that they go with. Yeah. So these are a couple of them. I can't go through everything, but these are very powerful. This is very, when you sit for meditation, in my personal opinion, this is one of the things that you should do, unless you have done Hatha Yoga before. Then you don't need to do this if you've done Hatha Yoga. But if you haven't done Hatha Yoga, do this for at least 5 minutes, okay? So that the body balances. I like, the major of this book is on a japa jump. And there are many techniques of a japa jump. And a japa jump is where you breathe in, close your eyes. You breathe into the sound of so in your mind, mentally. And breathe out to the sound of hum in your mind. Mentally repeat the word hum, H-A-M. And then you breathe in again, so. And you breathe out to hum. And both for the length of your breath. You shouldn't breathe in. Keep doing it. Keep your eyes closed and just breathe. So, hum. Breathe in fully, but not exaggerate. Don't exaggerate the chest. Breathe in fully, breathe out fully. All right. Do you see what you can finish that. Do you see what that does? It's called a japa japa. Number one, it means I am that, which is a wonderful thing because you are that. You are the divine. That meaning divine, not that over there. Okay. The mind, see, this is what people don't understand. I want to quiet my mind. The purpose of the mind is to think, right? So why would you want to quiet it? You just want it to focus on what you want to think about. Because the mind has two minds. It talks to you and it thinks, right? How many times have you talked to yourself? And then you answer. Yeah. So there are two minds here. Okay? You want the mind to become one, rather than two, going everywhere. You want it to become one, and you want it to do what you want it to do, which it never does. Okay? So, you give the mind something to do, and that's what the japa yoga is all about. And the so hum is beautiful because so sounds like your breath coming in, hum sounds like your breath going out. And so you're concentrating on breath You're concentrating on sound and you're breathing at the same time. Now, do that again. So, listen to the sound of so and your breath. Listen to the breath, and it sounds like so. Listen to your breath, and it sounds like hum as you exhale. Now merge, keep doing it, merge the two. Merge the breath with the sound. As if you couldn't breathe without saying so hum. How's that? Does that work? The idea is to get to the point where your mind only says so hum as you breathe.
I went to a place on a retreat and they did the Ujjayi breath. Is that safe?
Ujjayi breath is more what you can do that too. Ujjayi breath is where you close the epiglottis slightly and you're listening to the sound as coming in. And it rolls over your epiglottis and makes a sound. It's the same kind of sound that you make when you fog a mirror or your glasses. Okay? And so that kind of sound when your mouth is closed. So close your epiglottis and breathe in and out. And that's the sound you hear. And that's called Ujjayi breathing. The problem is your mind can be over here and over there and everywhere, whereas this is called ajap, which is a totally different breath. Okay? And here you're concentrating the mind. This is my favorite because I've trained it so long that the minute I say so hum, the mind goes, oh, I have to concentrate, I can't interrupt her. Rather than, closing the doors to the kids, I close the door to the mind with a japa.
What's the first letter in the japa japa? What's the
So.
alphabet? No, when you spell it, what you AJ?
Yeah.
AJ. Okay.
AJAPA.
Helpful.
A japa. Okay. Now here is some really nice things. Close your eyes and watch what thought comes into your mind. Here's the key to that one. No judgment. Whatever thoughts come into your mind. You know those ticker tapes that come on a plane across the... well, imagine you have ticker tapes across your mind. Close your eyes and see what thoughts come in. No judgment. Just watch. Okay. What happened? After you watch for a while, it slows down. The mind slows down. It's amazing. And what happens in this one that's so good about what's good this is, it's called thought observation method. It's a wonderful technique to teach to kids. Okay? It's a wonderful technique to teach to people who have a very busy mind. Because there are two things that happen here. One, The mind quiets down after watching it for a while because it gets tired of watching the same thought. But then remember also, if you're not doing something that you'd want to be, when you're watching a child and they're doing something that they shouldn't be doing, you don't have to say a word. You just have to stand there and watch them, and they all of a sudden know that they're being watched. And you don't say zilch, they start backing off from what they're doing. Okay? That's the same principle with the mind, because you're just watching. You're not judging, because once you judge, it creates another thought. Okay? The second thing that's wonderful about this is, what's in your subconscious mind? Do you know what's in your subconscious mind? No. What do you think thoughts do? They can bring up, perhaps they bring up stuff that's in the back of your mind. They bring up stuff, and that you want to know what's in there. So after you've done this, then you review. Hey, why was I thinking about that? What is in there that is bothering me? But while it's happening, you don't do any of that. It's after you finish, okay? After you finish, that's the good part. So you're being a witness to your thoughts. Isn't that interesting? A witness. A witness does not judge, just watches. Okay? Then there's another wonderful technique. These are all wonderful techniques for the old people as well, and the young people, and of course us in between. Thought creation method. How intensely can you change your thoughts? So, you would say, think about an object for 5 seconds. Apple. And think of all the thoughts that come up. And then 5 seconds later, think of another object and all the thoughts that come up. And 5 seconds later, think of another object and all the thoughts that come up. All right? That's thought creation method. It's very interesting. It's a very interesting technique. Okay? But I love this one. And I do this with kids especially. I haven't done it with my adult kids lately. Okay. Close your eyes, and whatever I'm saying to you, if I say apple, only see the apple. Don't see the apple on the tree and the tree around it. Just see the apple. Don't see the leaves on the apple. Just see the apple. Close your eyes. And the minute I say another one, forget the apple and look at something else. Apple. Orange. Banana. Fish. Water. Turtle. Dog. Cat. Good. Not so easy, is it? Because you put associations together. Not so easy. It's a mental exercise. Interesting, right?
That was easy for me. What's the matter with me?
Did you only see the dog and not running or anything else?
That's actually easy for me too. What would not be easy, that would be if you weren't telling me what to look at. How would I do that by myself? My mind would not be able to choose the next thing or keep track of the 5 seconds. Can you just follow me around?
No. The mental jerk method is something that you can do. Sit in a meditation posture, close your eyes, bring your attention to the mind. And right now, when I say 3, 1, 2, 3, no thought. Now think again. 1, 2, 3. Total blank mind. Okay? Relax. One, two, three. Relax. 3. Relax. It's a mental jerk method where you take your mind and you just jerk it into silence.
So I have to hold my breath. That's not good, right?
They say
Won't last long.
they say that in meditation, there are obstacles in meditation. There are many obstacles in for meditation. We go through 8 of them in Raja Yoga, remember? But one of them is also the breath in and the breath out. And what happens is when we concentrate a great deal, number one, we do stop when we're concentrated. And you're not supposed to do that. But when you get into deep meditation and you want to go further, and you're in meditation, what happens automatically is that you stop your breath because it is a distraction from reaching higher. Well, the real distraction comes when you're gasping for breath. And you come tumbling right back down. But it becomes an obstacle in the breath becomes an obstacle in deep meditation. And so you have to then bring the breath to a normal state and go back up. But it happens automatically.
Last week when we were talking about meditation, you said when you see colors and stuff like that, you're looking into the astral realm, and that is a distraction. You need to look past it. So I'm trying to do that, but I don't know what I'm looking past.
You're not looking at anything. You're allowing it to happen.
Okay.
You're not visually trying to look at something. You just think about what she's talking about is when we go into meditation, the first place we go is the astral plane. And some people, when they come into the astral plane, that's the same plane you go when you go to sleep. So it's not an unusual plane. Everybody loves being in sleep. So that's the astral plane. So when you go in there in meditation, some people see colors, some people see objects, some people see a kaleidoscope, whatever. The eventual color later will become pure white, by the way. What happens, that is not meditation. People get sidetracked and think they're in meditation. That is a way towards meditation. Do not get hung up and say, oh, I saw beautiful colors, I'm here in meditation, I saw this, I saw that, I felt this, I felt that. That's the astral plane. It's not where you want to be. You want to be beyond that. That is like sightseeing on your way. Enjoy it, but no, it's not place for you to stop. You have to go further. That's all I meant at that time. Later on, you might see and usually this is what they see, the light. That would be a golden or white light that you might be going towards. That is usually when you get into deep meditation, if you are visual, you will see the white light or golden light. Okay? And you will also know that, when Kubler-Ross did all the research in people that are dying and so forth, they saw the white light. And that is the light leading you to the furthest of your meditation. All right? Any other questions?
Is the light always red? Always white? I normally see
It can be gold, but the other ones would be in the astral plane. What light do you see?
a bright red.
Red? Mm-hmm. That's good, but no, you need to go beyond. That's your Shakti coming up. Red represents Shakti, which is good. Okay? But you need to go beyond that. You need to come to this point right here. Shakti is still in here.
And what does violet represent?
That's starting to become there, but you need to go further. These are all still, as long as you see colors, it's still in the astral plane. No? No?
Just
I get
stuck on the blue light.
where I could
have
see like many color, but I can't pass beyond that point.
You'll get there. But it takes time. It takes practice. Everything takes practice. What did you say?
saying just I'm stuck on that very bright blue light, like a diamond, but blue.
Yeah.
So
It's good. It's a wonderful technique of meditation. Think of it like Tretak. Keep going towards it. Keep going towards it. One day you'll go straight through it. It will still be there. It's a wonderful tool. It's like a magnet pulling your mind. That's what these colors are. A magnet pulling your mind. Eventually you will go past that. Because remember, in meditation, your mind is not involved. So you cannot be seeing lights. In meditation, your mind is not involved. You will not know what you have meditated on. But if you're meditating on a light or color, that's what will come. We have to have something that we meditate on to focus the mind, and also for the mind not to be taken away by other entities. So you always have to have something to focus on, some meditation. So if it's a blue light, that's good. There's nothing wrong with that. It's abstract way of meditation, but eventually you will go past that light, and you will come to a space where you don't know you were there. Meditation, you don't come back from meditation knowing what you meditated on. Are you kidding? You're out of your mind when you're meditating. The proper way out of the mind. Okay? You're out of the mind.
You have realizations afterwards.
Only maybe a day later or a week later or whatever. It becomes whatever you meditated on becomes and you have meditated on it, it becomes a priori knowledge. It becomes part of your nature. Okay? But you're not in your mind. Yes, dear?
Is it wrong if I end up taking a nap while I meditate?
No. But that's why we don't lie down. Because what happens to the mind, because it's going into the astral plane, right? What happens to the mind, it is used to going to sleep like that. And that's why we sit up nice and straight to meditate. And if you fall asleep, it's better than not meditating. And if you plan to meditate and to fall asleep, that's a good way too, because you'll have quieter dreams.
I have a question. Quite often after going toward meditation, sitting still and practicing meditation, whether I go there or not, I have thoughts afterward, 5 minutes, an hour later, and I take them as insight. And
It is. That is insight.
Okay.
Definitely. Because you tap into your higher self. You tap into your soul body. And that soul body has answers for you that you might be meditating on. And they give it to you during meditation. Okay?
So if we're doing a japa meditation, will you get to there as well, even though you're saying...
I do that to concentrate the mind. And then I do have a purpose in my meditation. One purpose could be to be silent. Another purpose could be for, I want to know something. Whatever. Okay? Your time is up. I'm going to you home.